There isn't much greater enjoyment or the call to be so passionate than music. No doubt everyone's tastes vary, but this is my tale to tell. Music has inspired and moved me to accomplish many great things, and there are far too many, and personal to note, to tell and hold here. But one example would be my love for late night jogging, even in the dead of winter at 2 or 3 a.m. in the bitter cold. It's like being in an entirely different world. No one is around, and despite being tired or even exhausted, the pace, the freezing cold, and of course the music edge you on. I'm left alone to my thoughts, reflections, and even prayers.
Do this one more time. It's so hard finding a purpose in my emptiness, 'cause I am an icicle. You are the summer heat, a flake wedge that I could barely speak. There is a headache in my head, a pulse in my brain. Nothing will ever change. There's nothing at all. There's nothing at all. I prefer this weight on my chest. There's nothing at all. There's nothing at
I suppose the beginning of this story started in late 2007, when I watched a movie made by a high school production. It was a full feature film called How to Be Hated. The soundtrack consisted of all local talent, and both the movie and the use of music was brilliant. I set forth on a mission to accumulate all the songs used in the film, and along the way I found more music by the artists I also enjoyed immensely. There was, however, one song not used in the movie itself, but a short segment of it appeared in the movie trailer. The band was called The Rock Band, and the song used was What If.
I go into my core! With these walls could speak, they tell you stories of how I cried myself to sleep. Over you, over me, and everything between now. If these walls could speak, they tell you stories of how I cried myself to sleep. Over you, over me, and everything between.
Why don't you tell me how you really feel?
You have got to be kidding me.
The short bit that appears in the trailer I put into MP3, but I had to find it. I needed to have the full version of the song. I contacted the director/teacher of the project, James McLennan, and even offered him $100 if he could provide just the full version of the MP3. But to no avail, he had misplaced the files. Searching through MySpace, that should date this, I found the band's page. They had a handful of their songs, including a few that appeared in How to Be Hated, but What If was not one of them, and the band had since long separated. Though as luck would have it, a song called Crash and Burn, which I never heard before nor was it used in the movie, was amongst the sample tracks, and when I found it, I must have played it 30 times that first night. A new family arrived at the church I was going to, and I met a youth by the name of Sarah, who started talking to me because I was casted as the devil in a series of plays we were doing at the church. The subject of music and what type I liked came up, and at the time in my life, I started realizing that the music I enjoyed most was what one could categorize as emo. Bands like Taking Back Sunday or AFI or Armor for Sleep, and some various tracks from a local band called Cone 5. I made Sarah and her friend a sample CD and aptly called it Emo Dreamo, and she in turn made me a CD, with which I found 2 super solid tracks and I thoroughly enjoyed. They both later returned to me with the idea to call our 3 peeps group the Emo Dreamo X-Men Trio. It sure was fun, light-hearted times. With the sharing of music, it acted out as a further catalyst to something already started. A CD that was an accumulation of all new songs or rediscovered songs during the year, and I arranged the tracks mostly in chronological discovered order, with the final track being my #1 pick of the year, making it the song of the year. And even though discovered sometime in January or February, the rock band Crash and Burn was my first #1 song of the year, 2008. With the dawn of YouTube, it became even easier to not only find new music, but also music I hadn't heard before, but forgot the name of the band or the song, or even in some cases, I never even knew what or who. A simple Google search by typing in lyrics to track down a band or a song title landed great success. And year after year, there was a new press of CDs, sharing it with only a select few people, each one with the year's number and a special made title. I even bought and added stickers to the CDs themselves just for fun. And it was a great joy to see the evolution of it all unfold. Having the first year so packed with new songs that the press was 2 CDs, or in 2013, which boasted 3 songs tied for first place, albeit by the same band, Paramore. And in later years, there was also runners-up to the #1 track for the year. By chance, in my never-ending search for the song What If, I talked to someone who had it. They kindly shared it with me, but when I played the song, it was it, but not really. The lyrics and the tempo were different, and though only slightly, and as close as it was, I can only assume that the band had later recorded a remixed version, and so, the search and years went on. "2016 was a terrible year. Amongst the events of that year saw a rise to problems with my PC, and Windows Media Player wouldn't allow me to create playlists, and so furthermore burning CDs wasn't possible. Though I had a killer soundtrack at hand, hailing both probably the #1 and the #1 runner-up of all time, I was unable to press the CD, and hence, the year turned over for the first time since I started in 2008 without a hard copy. The following year, 2017, went by quite quickly, and my PC problems never went away. At the end of the year, no formal CD was pressed either, not even a compiled song list, and this would have been the 10th year for the tradition. Scrux, You and Me was to be the #1 song, but there's still a little more to tell. With a friend through Facebook, we started a fun exchange of music, each day sharing a new song that we enjoyed and telling of its origin or backstory that came with it. I decided at one point in the segment to start sharing the #1 songs of each year, starting of course with 2008, detailing the entire origin which I have just shared, and the ever search for the song What If since. And that night, some curious poking around led me to clues. Clues that led me to places I could possibly find What If after all this time. In short, I was brought to a website called indievisionmusic.com. The website consists of an inventory of old CDs long forgotten, and by donation, the amount chosen at the buyer's discretion, you can purchase and download the CD you like. The rock band album This Is Revenge, with the first track being the remixed as suspected version of What If, was found. Almost 10 years passed, and being only recently uploaded to the internet, I found the full version at last, bringing me to literal tears and playing it with grand excitement over and over again, I might add. And with that, this tale of yearly soundtracks comes to an end. It is my distinct pleasure to present to you a sample of all #1 and any runner-up tracks of each year since this started, the final, of course, being the full version of What If by the rock band.
I know what it takes to crash and burn, and I know for sure that I am the reason I am alone. So cut me up, Jenny. Well, cut me up, Jenny. Well, I took full advantage of being taken full advantage of. Yeah, I took what I could get. Eventually, it took the place of love.
Oh, I know are really angels freeing you from the earth. It's just a matter of how you look at it, that's all. So don't worry, okay?
What if we don't make it out of here? What if we gave in to all our fears? Sacrificed the ones we love and called it quits when push came to shove. Tomorrow we'll start over. So quick to say I'm sorry, like we didn't mean a word we said, or all the things we did now. If these walls could speak, they'd tell you stories of how I cried myself to sleep over you, over me, and everything between now. If these walls could speak, they'd tell you stories of how I cried myself to sleep over you, over me, and everything between. What if you don't make it? But then again, what if you do? Well, I'll be right beside you either way, like I promised you. And if these walls could speak, they would tell you stories of how we called it quits when push came to shove. Now if these walls could speak, they'd tell you stories of how I cried myself to sleep over you, over me, and everything between now. If these walls could speak, they'd tell you stories of how I cried myself to sleep over you, over me, and everything between. Over you, over me, and everything between. And everything between.
It's been a great tradition that I've prized and looked forward to each year. But after 10 years, and considering my new PC doesn't have a CD player or burner, I think it's time to put this tradition to rest. But who knows what a 2018 soundtrack might sound like? Maybe there is hope, like the thought of a distant spring during a bitter cold winter jog.